Hello, family, friends, and fans. I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is the Wendy Theory track by track. We're going through my 2023 pop album, The Wendy Theory, and looking at it track by track. It's one of my favorite of my albums, and it's just chock full of good stuff, worthy of some analysis and at least one listen. And to make it easy, there's a video below to the auto-generated video, which you find on YouTube, so you can listen to the song for free and then come back here and tell me if I'm right or wrong, and let me know what you think. I'm happy to hear. Let's see. This 2023 album, The Wendy Theory, is very pop oriented. All the songs are about fractured romance. Most of them are. And I was just in that kind of a mood, you know. This song is the fifth song. It's called "With a Girl Like You." Now, this song, and I'm the first to say this. You don't write a new type of song every time you write a song. Just like when you're making a car, you're making a family wagon, or you're making a roadster, or you're making a limousine, or you're making whatever you're making. But you don't reinvent the car every time you make a car. You might have little design tweaks. It might be a certain kind of a car that's meant to go fast, or a certain kind of car that's meant to go slow. But there are certain kinds of cars. You don't invent the automobile every time you make a car. And songwriting is very much that way. There are certain types of songs. There are songs that sound like other songs. You know, if you pick up an acoustic guitar and do a wistful melody, you're apt to do a song that's comparable to, let's say, Blackbird or Yesterday or anything by Joni Mitchell. Things are comparable. Even songwriters, John Lennon only had three songs. For example, Strawberry Fields, that long, meandering Lewis Carroll lyric inspired monotone melody with a trippy chordal pattern. He did that all the time. He did that on Strawberry Fields, is that, but also Across the Universe is that. I Am the Walrus is that. Mind Games is that. He just did that. That was one of the three songs that he wrote. Songwriters only have a great songwriter has four songs. Dylan and McCartney have four each. Uh, John Lennon had three. Some people, if you're Tom Petty had two. Um, Most people only have one. Brian Wilson only had one, as far as I can tell. I never really got the Beach Boys. So the Rolling Stones basically have the one song that they just do over and over again. You're lucky to get the one, frankly. So I don't want to say that I'm, you know, but I've got more than three. And one of my songs that is recurrent. It's like, for example, you might hear Empty Echoes and think, yeah, that's not terribly dissimilar to Meet Me in New Orleans. They're from different albums. Empty Echoes is from Boondoggle. Meet Me in New Orleans is from uh, I'm Possible. They're separated by a decade or more. But they sound kind of comparable. That's my jazz song. You know, that's my roadster. So this song, with a girl like you, is kind of one of my Steely Dan songs. Among the various songs I do a Steely Dan-ish thing because I'm a Steely Dan fan, and they have a lot to teach any songwriter in terms of inventive chord patterns and encouraging you to get out of the same old chord structures, and yet with a simple 4/4 beat. Rhythmically they're not that complex. Chordally they're very complex. So you might hear this song, With a Girl Like You, and think, gee, that sounds a little like Steely Dan. Well, yeah, it does. And you also might think it sounds a bit like the song Mustang Cool on the album Night Season. Because, yeah, that's my Steely Dan song. I do it more than once. I don't do it all the time, But sometimes I slide into Steely Dan mode and you get something like Christmas All Over the World or this song or Falling in Love Tonight. A lot of the things on my album Night Season are kind of Steely Danish because I like Steely Dan. And this is one of my Steely Dan type tunes. And I'm not going to lie to you and say, no, this one is, it's reminiscent of Steely Dan. Um, there are lots of So Sad About Me is a Steely Dan song. There was a Donald Fagen tune on one of his solo albums that really inspired this one. And I forget the title, but it was all about since you've been gone, my life's been great. You know, and you'd think it was going to be since you've been gone, I'm oh so sad, and I want you back. But it's since you've been gone, everything's turned around. And this song is inspired by that. It's the idea is, with a girl like you, everything could go wrong. You'd think it'd be with a girl like you, oh, my life would be great. With a girl like you, I'd be happy. With a girl like you, my friends would respect me. With a girl like you, my mother would love me, and all that. Which, all those things are dubious propositions in my case. But um, this song goes the other way. It's with a girl like you, I could lose everything I've got. With a girl like you, I could bury myself alive. With a girl like you, I'd wind up dead in the end. It's that snarky, it's also the balance of light and dark, which I like in my music. It's the music is very clean. It's got a nice groove. Even the proposition of the lyrics is a hopeful one, a positive one. But then the lyrics get really dark, and the music stays really bright. That's one thing about the song "The Wendy Theory." Forgot to mention my analysis of that. The opening tune of this album is it really sets the tone of the music is very bright and cheerful, but the lyrics are breakup lyrics. You know, the water's pouring in, the end is just beginning. It's an allegory for a ship that's sinking, that's hit the rocks and it's sinking. And yet you'd think it's so happy with So this whole album has a lot of that contrast of light and dark, which I like. This is a song that also had its own video. I made a video of it, like I did with a lot of songs on this record, and you can find that on YouTube, on this YouTube channel, but a different playlist. But it's easier just to go to the link below and watch the generated uh, video. There's really nothing to look at but the album cover, but you can hear the song and see if I'm not right. See if you can't hear that Steely Dan influence. I cop to it because that's, none of us, we don't grow up in a vacuum. And all of us songwriters drink from the same well. So that's something you kind of got to just embrace at a certain point. And this album has me embracing those influences. The Grateful Dead, the Bob Dylan, the Beatles, Steely Dan. This album has me demonstrating my influences in an unabashed manner. Because why not? If you can pull off a Steely Dan song, you should do it because they're excellent. All right, so check out the song and then check out these other analyses. If you want to hear the whole album, you can search the Wendy Theory complete album for the playlist on YouTube, or the overview video has a link right to it, so you can check out the whole thing. This way, you'll have some information on the songs before the analysis comes, or you might just do a song for song, day by day thing, like it's a song a day kind of a deal, and then you'll look forward to the next song the next day. I've never bought an album and listened to one song and then put it down and the next day listen to the second song, then put it down and listen to the third song the next day. But hey, it's a different world. Probably you're going to wind up downloading this record wherever you like to download your favorite music. By the way, you can download mine, Spotify, whatever, Apple Tunes, iTunes, whatever your tunes are, your tunes, we all tunes for our tunes. Uh, Go there and download the whole album. It costs probably $10. But this way you can listen to it on your phone, in your car, on the train, on the way to work, or when you're just tuning out the rest of the world. When politics has become too much, you can always download one of my records and listen to it. So do that with the Wendy Theory. Enjoy this song. The link is below. Tune in for another analysis. And until then, bye, Mary.